Hello everyone, Makov here and welcome back to another video on my channel. Oh my god, I'm back. We're playing Geometry Dash, that's right, Geometry Dash. I did not forget about this game, guys. I am alive. I know I haven't posted in ages. I know I haven't posted a real video in ages, which is the main reason why I'm actually making this video. Because the last time I made a proper video was way too long ago. And to be honest, I feel quite bad. But I do actually have a lot of motivation right now, and I have a lot of video ideas, but I thought this is a good way to get back into it. But anyway, no one cares about that, so let's just get right into the video. And I would have opened my daily chest for you guys, but I was very, what's it called? Unsensitive for the video, because for some reason, I opened my daily chest before I started recording, and like that's just a sin, you know. I think I'm going to go to hell for that, because normally the chest opening is like the most hype part of the video. But, you know, it is what it is, you know. But anyway, I don't know why I'm talking like it's a Let's Play, because it's not. Because today I'm going to be telling you exactly how to beat Sonic Wave if you want to beat it. Why? Well, I have actually beaten Sonic Wave, believe it or not, guys. Guys, look. 100%. I did not hack that because the video is right there on the screen. That is my Sonic Wave completion. And I streamed, I can't remember how many streams it was. I think it was 50 or 60 streams on Twitch. And I took 46,833 attempts. Over a year-long period. I didn't play every day for a year or so, anything like that. I actually took a lot of breaks with the level. I think I took like a few months break, like twice or 3 times. So yeah, I was pretty inconsistent with this level, but that's because this level is a mental journey. And if you're gonna go for this level, you need to realize that. Because yes, it takes a lot of raw skill to do, but I mean, once you get all the click patterns down, you know, it can get pretty consistent, and then it just becomes a mental journey from zero, which is probably one of the hardest parts of the level. But anyway, the way this video is going to work, I'm just going to go for a practice run. I'm going to tell you all my tips and tricks, because over the time I was beating the level, I managed to get a lot of tips and tricks, specifically from one man named Slayer, who actually helped me a lot. He helped me a lot to get down some click patterns, which I did not know how to do at all. So shout out Slayer, you know who you are. You're on the screen right there. You also made Fog and with notes in that, but no one cares about that guy. And yeah, very awesome guy. He helped me a lot when I was playing this level, but I obviously still picked up a lot of tricks by myself, and I know exactly what you should do if you want to beat this level. So, let's get right into it. Boom. Alright, so, we obviously, I think most of you guys know what Sonic Wave is. It is one of the hardest levels which was ever made back in 2017, I'm pretty sure. I think it was top 1 at one point. Obviously, it's part of the RGB, very famous level, which is actually the main reason I beat it, because it's such an iconic level that I felt like I really wanted to beat it, you know, get it on my belt. Like, it's like Bloodbath, you know, like everyone wants to beat that level, except from the people who don't want to beat that level. But I mean, if you don't even want to beat this level, then why are you even watching? But yeah, this level is very, very difficult unless you're like a professional who can just take 2k attempts on it and say it's legacy list. But you know, who knows, maybe by the time you're watching this, it is legacy list, because this game is getting way too hard. But I'm waffling, by the way, so I might just get into it. Anyway, alright, the first cube, this part kind of sucks, not gonna lie. Like, I guess pretty consistent, but there isn't really like a great way to sort of do it. These first 3 jumps are pretty easy, to be honest. But this orb, you will never get consistent at this orb, trust me. Unless you're like some Greek god or whatever. I mean, I never got consistent at this orb. I have never known anyone who gets consistent at this orb. The 1% orb, it just stinks, alright? And you just have to realize that. The way I sort of try to do it is listen to the music, just focusing on the music. I don't even know how to explain it, but if you just focus on the music and like click, then you know you'll get past it around 60% of the time, maybe. Maybe that's a bit generous. Maybe it's like 40%, but you know, you probably won't even realize that you're doing this part when you're actually going from zero, because it's all in autopilot, you know. And the rest of the cube isn't that hard, to be honest. It's just pretty simple stuff, you know. You just have to click all the orbs. The little triple spike. Can do a funny little skip there, which I kind of did I do that in my completion attempt? I don't actually know. Put it on screen right now, future Makov. But yeah, I did that skip a lot of times whilst I was going from zero, just to mix it up, because it gets really boring from zero if you're not, you know, super patient. I mean, I am super patient, but it still got pretty boring, so, you know. Anyway, this ship, you can just hold into it right there. You don't have to do anything special. You can just hold into it, you know. And here, I mean, obviously this ship is this whole level is going to be really easy. Not really. It's going to be easier if you're on higher FPS, because it's pretty much all wave and ship and, you know, ball timing, so obviously it's going to be easier on high FPS. But I mean, this ship is pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. You just have to not click. What? You have to not hit the no, what's it called? What are they called? Saws. That's they're called that one. That is called saw. Yep. Anyway, this is the ball. This is actually the first sort of hard part in the level, you know. In fact, a lot of people say this is actually the harder than the wave. And the people who say that are so incredibly wrong. Like, that's like saying pineapple on pizza is good. I mean, if you like pineapple on pizza then, and you're gonna make a little angry comment, don't even care, bro. It's so bad. Like, just stick with the basics, bro. Even pepperoni sweeps that. Yeah, this ball is, it's hard to get down at first, but I got really consistent with it, to be honest, when I was playing from zero, you know, when I was getting too close to beating it. But I'll tell you how to reach timing. And I did just exit out of that practice run, and I will have to get back there. And I am trying not to be angry, because that just wasted a bunch of my time. Okay, so basically this first orb, you just have to click it late, you know. I mean, it's not too late, you just have to click it pretty late. You know, and then we want to hit this orb pretty early, and then this orb just normally hit it. Okay, and this orb you have to hit pretty late. I mean, not too late, because, you know, you'll probably miss it. But, you know, you have to hit this quite late, or otherwise you'll just saw. And then these two orbs, you just have to click, you know, normal. Pretty quick, just so you can make it into this ball. You can sort of space two clicks out, actually. But anyway, these 3 clicks are pretty easy. You just have to click them pretty fast. But this part can get kind of tricky. You want to hit this one sort of late, but not too late like I just did, because you'll die to that. You just want to hit it kind of late. And then these clicks, sort of hard to explain, but you just have to sort of do like 2 clicks, pause, 2 clicks, and then 1, 2, you know. 1, 2, 1, 2, and boom, boom. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it gets quite consistent, honestly, once you practice it a lot. Like, they're not super hard clicks. There isn't a crazy timing there. But, you know, you just have to sort of learn how to do them 2 clicks. Then 4 clicks even. And then this orb, you have to pretty late. Not that late, though. Actually, you don't even have to hit that orb late. You just have to hit it in the middle, really. Alright, and then these 2 clicks, these are just sort of normal ball timings. I mean, you just have to fit through there, you know, fit through there. I mean, there isn't much to say, really. Just have to practice these timings until you get good enough at them. I would use the music, because I think the music helps a lot, but that might be just me. And then these mini ball clicks, they can absolutely stink. I mean, I don't even know the amount of times I've died to these clicks from zero. But you sort of have to, you know, you just have to sort of listen to the music and just, you know, boom, 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 boom. It's just 4 consistent clicks in the sort of, you know, same difference between them. I have seen some people do it in a weird strategy, like, where they spam after a second one, I'm pretty sure. It's really weird. I've never tried it, actually. Like that. Some people do it like that. I mean, I just died, so I don't think that's the optimal way to do it, but yeah, the way I did it, I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're in the wave, and then, yeah. So that's the pre-drop. It's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. Most of the tips and tricks are actually in the wave, so we're finally into it. Oh my god. And we're in the first click. This click can be pretty annoying, but you just have to sort of do it like, it's sort of like a gut feeling, you know. You just have to click when you feel like it's time. You know, I mean, there isn't really much to say on this part. Just have to do, you know, 1, 2. I'd fall down quite a bit. Like, you can fall down quite a bit here. There's no need to sort of go really early, but that's what I did. I just sort of went quite late. And then you just have to go into this one and then release, and then click again, and then boom. You just have to do a pretty small click there. And then there's obviously invisible blocks. It's a 9 circles level. But then you just have to do a little click to get between this spike and this saw, and then 1, 2 between them spikes as well. This beginning part of the wave can be pretty difficult, honestly, once you're starting out. I mean, even in the latter stages of the process you have on this level. A lot of people have called this the hardest part of the level, sort of the first part of the first wave. It can be pretty difficult. It's sort of the most raw skill you need for the level. But yeah, that sort of pattern there was pretty self-explanatory. You just have to make it through them spikes, which can be kind of tight, and then you have to immediately click when you reach this mini ball. Because there's a saw right here, which is going to kill you if you don't. Then you have to go up there. There's actually quite a lot of space in that gap. And then you have to go right back up. And then you have to do some consistent clicks like this. And then this part. Okay, there's actually a lot of different ways to do this. The 35 moment, 36 even. The way I did it is like this. That's the way I did it. I just sort of did, what did I even do there? I did one small click there and then a bigger click there. Then I think I did a further small click and then I just went up. That's my way of doing it, but there is a lot of different ways of doing this part. That's what I got really comfortable with though. But you can't do this in literally 2 clicks. I mean, if you go far enough into this spike, because you know the hitboxes aren't fixed or anything, you can just do a bigger click here and you can just go through like this. That can also work pretty well, but I just found it more comfortable doing more clicks in this part, like that. And then through that part, you just have to spam. Then little input there, just to go between them spikes. And then 1, 2. Just have to make it into this portal, and then the dual wave. One of the easier parts to level actually. This dual wave. Just 1, 2, spam 1, 2, 3. And then we get into this part. I don't actually know what the name for this part is or what people call it, but I've always called it head hitters. Don't know why. I mean, I do know why, because your wave is literally up, down, up, hits the head on the wall, down, up, and you're hitting your head on the wall again. So, I mean, this part is pretty much a mini consistency challenge, you know? It gets really, really consistent, though. That is what I will say. Once you get it down, I mean, it can be quite hard at the start to, you know, sort of get the right amount of weight you have to put on each click. But once you get it, you can just, it's, you know, it comes naturally. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This part really isn't, you know, too difficult. I would, I think you'll probably be able to get that down if you just practice a decent amount and you manage to get the amount of weight you have to put on the inputs. But following that, we have a little big wave. This part also isn't that difficult, but it's about to enter into the hardest choke point of the level. So yeah, you just have to sort of make it through these fake saws and these real saws. Once you know where to go, it's pretty easy because there's actually a lot of space in this part. And here we go, we're into a mini wave now, and we're about to approach 49, which is the biggest choke point. And this setup is actually very, very important if you want to get 49 now. A lot of people can just spam in this corridor because there is actually a lot of space and they can just do 49 like that. But there is a few, or you can just make your clicks bigger. Like so. So you don't actually need a huge amount of CPS if you want to beat this level, because you can make a lot of the parts less CPS. But yeah, if you have swag, then you can just, you know, do something like that. But yeah, 49. Wait, I just want to go to 49 real quick. This is 49, basically, this click. And long story short, it absolutely sucks. But you can get more consistent than you are at the start when you're playing this level. Basically, what it is just going right down and then right back up, right to the top. And you have a little sort of gap here where you can land on the floor, which is what I actually suggest, because it's actually quite a bit easier once you manage to land on the floor here, instead of just not landing on the floor and going up like that. The way I did it personally is like this. I sort of did 4 or 5 clicks there. I think I normally do 4 or 5. I think I normally do 1, 2, 3, 4, but it might be 5 actually now that I'm looking back at it. This is one of the click patterns that Slayer told me actually, because I always struggled with the entrance into 49, but once you sort of learn that 5 click pattern where you can just sort of, you know, have a control spam and you land on the floor there, then it's actually gets pretty consistent, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, in my final, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 streams, I was getting past 49 most times using this click pattern. So you just have to practice this part a lot, like a lot, and you'll get it down. But it still is very, very easy to mess up. All right, and then you have to go right back up into this big wave, spam in the middle of this, and then fall down. And then you have to go right back up here in the middle, and fall down again onto the floor where there's fake blocks here. And then in this, where you see this little pulsing thing, that's where you have to go back up, and you have to spam back into this corridor. Because if you don't, then you're dead. Alright, and then you're into the last mini wave spam, where there is actually a lot of different ways you can do it again, because there's actually a lot more space in this part than you might think. Of course, if you're actually good at spam and you can control it pretty well, then you can just spam through this part. Like that. Or if you're less bad at spam, if you're less good at spam and you want a more controlled click pattern which is more reliable, which is the option I went for, you can do this click pattern, where you sort of use these blocks as sort of like wave spikes. I don't really know how to say it, but as you can see, this part, you can sort of use this, look at it, and just go up, and then up, and then up again. So you have to just use 3 or 4 clicks instead of just spamming through this. Because there's actually a lot more space in this top than you actually think. So let me show you what I mean. You can just sort of rise like that, you know. And then you can fall down in this gap. And then you can do a smaller click than that. And that's pretty much the whole click pattern of that part. So I like to, you can just sort of do 1 click here, but I also like to, you know, if you make a little too small of a click here, you can just do a correction click there. Then you up, up. And then here, you actually have a lot more space than you think. Obviously, these cells look pretty tight, but you can actually go quite far into this top. So you can just do, you know, 1, 2, and then 1 big click, and then another big click, and you'll make it past. I mean, look at that. You can get really, really close to these swords and you won't die. I'll just do it one more time so you can get the click pattern down if you need to. There you go. And then you're right into the second cube, which is one of the easiest, if not the easiest part of the level. I mean, it's very, very self-explanatory. You just have to remember to click really fast there. I'm not even going to explain this part, to be honest, because if you don't know how to do this part, then respectably, you shouldn't be playing this level. So yeah, I mean, okay, as I say that, okay, you just have to click pretty much all the orbs. And yeah, it's not too difficult, to be honest with you. And now we reach the second wave, which in my opinion is, I mean, my opinion on the difficulty of the wave changed a lot. Like at one point the last wave was the hardest, and then the second wave was the hardest, and then the third wave was the hardest. So, you know, it's a lot of different opinions when you're playing. But the way I approach this part, you just want to do 2 big clicks here, pretty much the same size, and then 1 more click here between the spikes. Hold into these portals. And then here, actually I'll turn on the hitboxes first part. As you can see, this structure is actually really odd, like the way it's built. Because obviously you're a wave, you know, it should be triangle. But once you're actually up here, you can hit the top of this pretty easily. Because of the fact that it's all square. So you actually have to sort of time it correctly, which can take a lot of practice. You just have to remember not to make that input too big. Like that, and you'll be fine. Then you get caught by this speed portal. And here you can do one, like just 1 click on each little slope, or you can do 2 if you want as well, if that's more comfortable. But I personally went for 1. In Auditory Breaker, I actually did this part in 2 clicks. I think it's slightly different in that level though, but yeah, I did 1 because I think that was a bit easier. That's how it looks when you do 2, and this is how it looks when you did it my way, which is 1. You can actually, you know, get pretty close to these spikes as well, but you know. That's how it is. Then you enter the joy, which is sort of like a middle sort of break section, I'd say. Like between that little intense start to the second wave and the intense part after this. So yeah, I mean, you can just focus on one of the waves here and you'll survive. That must have been really loud on the mic, Jesus Christ. So you can just look at one of the waves here and you'll survive. And entering this part can be pretty tricky. I don't know why, but when I started, I had a really horrible click pattern for this part. I did 2 clicks really fast off the bat for no reason, like that. It sort of set me up pretty well for this corridor, but it just wasn't reliable or consistent in the long run. That's how I did it, and I just died to that sort of a lot. But the best click pattern for this is just doing a longer click here and then doing 1 longer click here as well. And then all of these clicks in this part are actually pretty much the same size, which you'll figure out pretty quickly. Like that, you know. And this is of course upside down, so it can be pretty difficult to get down. But yeah, it's one of those parts, you know, where they take a lot of time to practice, but when you see practice them, they can get actually pretty consistent, and like you won't die to this part too much from zero. I personally died to it quite a lot because I never had a good click pattern for it until I actually beat it. But yeah, you just have to do a longer click here, and then pretty much the same size clicks there, and then a little fast 2 clicks there, and then 1, and then go back into this structure. And then you have to do another little double click here. Like that, but it's much slower pace. And I will turn on the hitboxes for this part again because they can be kind of weird. Obviously, on this first structure, you have a ton of space. Then you have to do a little recorrection click here. So obviously, they're going to go like this, and then beep, and then boom, you're in this. But as you can see, it's like the first iteration earlier in the second wave. I don't know why these blocks exist, to be honest, but if you position yourself too far into this block, then you will die. So you just have to sort of get out of there early. I will do it with hitboxes once just to show you how close it can get. Like, I mean, I even clipped part of that, but you know. Obviously, yeah, it's sort of weird why these blocks exist, but yeah, you can get quite far into this, which is probably the best way to do it. I like using the music for this part a lot. I might just be a music kind of person when it comes to learning levels and beating them, but I think the music can be pretty helpful. Like, you know, when that little duh, that's sort of when you want to click. Alright, now I'll do it without hitboxes because we're not hacking. Alright, and then you have to just go right back down here. Then a little, sort of a big click there. This sort of exit of this part of the second wave isn't too difficult. And then a click here, just so you can get past here. Then you have to spam here a little bit, like I'd say 4 or 5 clicks maybe. And then hold into this portal so you can go right back up. And then 2 big clicks there because you have a ton of space here, which aren't very difficult, so you shouldn't really dodge this part, to be honest. Alright, and then you have the mini wave. This part, you just have to stay relaxed, alright? This part isn't too difficult. You can do this part however you like, really, because there's a lot of space here, so you can just spam it if you want, like so. Or you can just do longer drawn-out clicks if you feel like it as well. There isn't too much to know here. You just have to sort of know where you're going. These parts can be sort of tight, but again, they're not too difficult, so I'm just going to show you a full attempt of this part of the wave. Alright, so that's the part of the wave. Just look at them click patterns. You don't really need a click pattern for that either, because there is a lot of space in that wave. You just have to sort of get through them gaps. Alright, and then the third cube, which is all about nerves in my opinion. I don't know how good your guys' nerve control is. If it's good, then honestly this level will be a lot easier for you. But my nerve control personally isn't that good, so I actually died to this part. I think I died to 89 actually. So yeah, obviously this part is a bit of memory, but I mean it's nothing crazy. It's not even memory really, because I mean you can see the differences between the fake and the real blocks because of the glow. But yeah, you just sort of do it like this: 1, 2, 1, fall down. Big click there, big click there. Okay, nice. Big click, big click, big click, big click, fall, and boom. That's where I died actually. Wait, I'll show you guys how I died there. Big click, big click, big click, big click, and then I somehow managed to click too late there, like I just did, and that's where I died. It wasn't 89, it was 87. Actually, I'll play the video of that death right now if I can find it.
Yo, I clicked too late.
Because yeah, that was a very, very sad death, and that was my my personal best for quite a while as well. So yeah, you just have to not time this too late. Just make sure you click on the block, otherwise you'll have a very, very sad death right before the last wave. And yeah, guys, you can't actually go through this part. You have to go right here. Don't try it; you won't survive. All right, and now we're at the third and final wave. This part can be pretty difficult, to be honest with you. A lot of people die here a lot when they're playing the level, which is a source of frustration, you know, because you're right at the end of the level, your nerves are at an all-time high, your excitement is at an all-time high because you might beat it, but this is still a pretty difficult wave, and you have to know how to do it. So, first of all, click here, big click, and then 1, 2. You just want to align yourself with this, you know, not touching these top spikes, so you want to be pretty low down here, and then a little click here, and then right back up. And then you want to get caught by this portal, fall down around about where you're aligned with this arrow, and then you can just click, hold, and then hold into this portal. And then 2 clicks here. It's not that quick, to be honest with you, but just 2 clicks, and you want to hold into this. And the way I sort of did this transition to this mini portal is I did 1, 2, just sort of 2 fast clicks, just to get out of this danger area with these 2 swords, and then just get right back up there where there's a lot of space. Or you can just do 1 click there actually as well. I have seen people do that before, where you can just sort of, you know, hold into it a bit longer, and then you can just do 1 bigger click, like so. But I'm pretty sure I actually did 2 clicks here, like that, you know, just a little click and then a big click. And this click, it's just a pretty big click, to be honest with you. There's quite a bit of space. Just have to dodge these middle structures in the saw, but this will come to you really really naturally, honestly, once you practice it a lot. Alright, and this spam sort of sucks, to be honest with you. The way I did it, wait, let me count how many clicks I just did. Alright, the way I do it is I do 4 clicks. They're pretty quick, you know, you have to do them at a pretty similar consistency rate. These clicks can be very difficult, to be honest with you, but once you practice them enough, you'll get them down. It's sort of like that, you know, just have to do 4 really quick clicks. Then you want to fall down on this bottom, and you have to reach this part, which can be pretty difficult as well. Alright, so once you're down here, this part actually has a lot more space than you think. And I didn't notice, because I always used to try to position myself right here, you know, because I thought there was spikes here or something. But you can actually go really far up here, which allows you to have a lot more space. Like, actually, my advice for this part is click for longer than you think you should, because that's what worked for me. As you can tell, you can even like sort of go through these little gaps between the hitboxes as well. So there is a lot more space than you think. It's just 2 long holds, to be honest. Hold and releases. But yeah, these can be very, very easy to die to, and I'm pretty sure I did actually die to this these 2 clicks before. Alright, and then you're sort of at the last slow part of the wave. Here you can just fall down. You can just fall down here and then just do 1 big drawn out click. Fall down a bit and then do another long click. This part is all about controlling your nerves, because honestly it's not too difficult, and you should be getting past this little end section every time, in practice at least. The way I like to do these clicks is actually doing double clicks. Well, they're not double clicks because you don't have to use your space around or anything, you know, but they're a little one of them. But I did like to do one of these. Like it's sort of earlier, you know, at the start of the second wave. It's a similar situation, but I don't know why. I sort of just always preferred doing 2 clicks here than 1. You can do it with 1 drawn out click, just sort of going between the middle of this, but I've always preferred 2 clicks here, and it's been a lot more consistent for me personally. Then you can just do the same sort of 2 click pattern, just a bit longer and more drawn out here. Alright, and then here they're pretty much just copy and pasted of this slope actually, you know, there's 1, 2, 3. I mean, these slopes have literally been copy and pasted, you know, 1, 2, 3, so it's literally the same width of click, you know, the same length. They're just, you know, there's a lot of space in this gap actually. Quite a lot of space, so this is all about controlling your nerves. And then here you can just do 2 clicks, or you can just do 1 longer click to set yourself up for the last mini wave. And the last mini wave, ladies and gentlemen. It's so easy in practice if you have good CPS. If you don't, then you might struggle with this part a little bit, to be honest. There is quite a lot of space here, to be honest. Like, you can just do long drawn out clicks like this. But, you know. Or you can just spam really quickly like that. And I did actually die to 98. Rolled the clip. It was very, very sad. I don't think I like ever died to it in practice, maybe once or twice throughout my entire year of playing this level, because I always found this mini wave really easy. You know, I always said, oh, it's not that hard, it's not that hard. But once I got to it, I was so nervous that my finger just somehow, I don't know, I don't even know how it happened. I think it might have slipped a bit off the mouse because, I don't know, I was that nervous. But yeah, this is all just trusting in your click patterns, trusting in your hand, just consolidating your nerves and getting it over the finish line, to be honest, because this last wave isn't too difficult. And then boom! Verified by Sunix, Riot, Jewel, wait, what did that say? Chief? Who's Chief? Chief! And Grelix. Shout out to them lot. So yeah, that's Sonic Wave, but I will just give you a full attempt of the last wave if you want to copy my click patterns to learn. And you can also do this click just with 3 clicks, which is what I think I actually did in my completion attempt. But yeah, the 4 click sort of more spammy route can also work more consistently. But also if you don't want to spam too much, you can just do the 3 more drawn out clicks and they'll land you on this bottom part. There we go, that's the last wave, and that is how you beat Sonic Wave, ladies and gentlemen. Or at least that's all my tips and tricks for the level. Obviously, these click patterns, you might find your own click patterns to be easier, but I just want to help you guys out because a lot of them click patterns I was doing completely differently and in a much higher way than I managed to figure out in the end with the help of Slayer and with the help of my chat and just learning it by myself more in depth because I put so many hours into this level over the year. But yeah, that's how you do Sonic Wave, and if you want to do this level, just, you know, remember it can be a lot easier in practice than it is from 0. I think I did 28 to 100 like, I don't know, 10 months or something before I beat the level, so that is largely because I took like months breaks, but still. Doing 28 to 100 is so much easier than doing 0 to 100, and I think most people can agree. But yeah, that's how to beat Sonic Wave, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most iconic extreme demons in Geometry Dash. If you want to go for it, then I wish the absolute best of luck to you, because I know how straining it can be. Just make sure you don't force yourself to play the level, because that will just ruin your experience, you know. Whenever you're not happy with the level, just take a break, play something else, or just don't play at all, because there's always tomorrow, you know. And there's no point forcing yourself to beat the level. I mean, I say this as I literally beat it in a 7-hour-long stream at 4 AM. I really don't know how I did that. I was just so consistent on that last day. Like, I just had to force myself to beat it. I just knew it was the day, you know. But yeah, in general, you shouldn't force yourself to play the level, even if, you know, if you're being, if you're not finding it fun, because the games are meant to be fun, guys. Video games are meant to be fun, contrary to popular belief. But yeah, if you're going for Sonic Wave, or if you've already beaten it and you're watching this video for some reason, GG if you've beaten it, good luck if you haven't. I hope you guys liked my guide. I don't really know how good it was, so leave your comments down in the description, leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel because I am going to pop off in the rest of this year. I know I said I was going to pop off this whole year. You know, I'm getting back onto it though, guys, don't worry, and 2.2 is coming out this year, so I will be there no matter what in 2.2. Don't worry, guys. This is the first of many videos on my video ideas list, actually. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I managed to make your day better. Hope I managed to help you with beating Sonic Wave. If you want more guys with different levels, then leave the comments in below. Leave the comments in below. I don't think that's English, Makov. Please correct that. Leave your comments in the description below. Leave your comments in the comment section below. That's what I meant to say. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.